You're right on time for Hope TV Newswatch on this 26th day of April 2022. A very good evening to you and welcome to the broadcast. My name is Kennedy Kimani and assisting with the sign language interpretation is the very able Boniface Mureithi. You can also engage us on our social media platforms at HopeTV_KE and at Kennedy Kimani_. The hashtag to use is Hope TV Newswatch. Let's begin. Now, retired President Mwai Kibaki's body lay in state for the second day today for Kenyans to view the remains and accord him last respect. Amid tight security, long queues were witnessed along the Parliament Road and City Hallway in Nairobi, with Kenyans longing to get a view of the former third president before his interment on Saturday at his Othaya home in Nyeri County. Dickens Luvanda was at the Parliament buildings and filed for us the following report.
Kenyans on Tuesday morning braced the chilly Nairobi weather and the afternoon sun by turning out in large numbers to pay their last respects to the country's third president, Mwai Kibaki. Kibaki's body continued to lie in state for the second day at Parliament buildings before Wednesday, the last day of public viewing. Many of those who streamed in to pay their last tribute to the fallen former head of government had so much to remember about him.
Ambayo imefanya nije nione Kibaki kwa wakati wangu nilikuwa wakati wa Moi, na Moi alipoondoka hatukuweza kupata nafasi wengine wa kukuja kumuona, lakini Kibaki wakati huu tumepata nafasi ya kuja kumuona, ambaye ni rais wangu wa tatu akiondoka, na huyu ndio niko na ushahidi hata kwa wajukuu wangu nitawaambia mwili wa rais wa tatu niliuona.
Mimi nimefurahi sana kuona mzee pale amelala, amewekwa. Naitwa George Ole Kainan. Na mzee amefanya kazi ngumu kubwa sana. Amtengenezea barabara, mashule ni ya bure.
Kwanza shule alipeana ikawa ni ya free. Ya pili yeye ndiye aliwezesha wana bodaboda kuinitiate bodaboda sector, mpaka tunakuwa siku hizi usafiri inakuwa ni rahisi mno. Ya tatu, wakati universities zilikuwa zinapeanwa, ninamkumbuka wakati alipeana charter university ya Kisii.
Before accessing inside Parliament, members of the public were first said to be frisked for the security reasons amid heightened security.
Alileta free education. Tumesoma kama fee iko chini.
Namkumbuka Mzee Kibaki kwa kumwenzi kwa masomo ya bure na kujenga infrastructure.
Just like Monday, the former president's body was carried in a gun carriage from Lee Funeral Home to Parliament for public viewing in the morning through Valley Road, Kenyatta Avenue and finally Parliament Road, with the former president's casket draped with the national flag as it snaked its way to Parliament. At the office of the President Harambee House building along Harambee Avenue, Interior Cabinet Secretary Dr. Fred Matiang'i, who also leads Mzee Kibaki's National State Funeral Organizing Committee, opened Kibaki's condolence book, therefore welcoming all state and former state officials to sign their condolences at the office. Similar condolence book stations have been stationed in regional government offices across the country, Kenyan embassies across the globe, and at the late Mzee Kibaki's Nyeri home in Nairobi and in Othaya, Nyeri County. Friday, April 29, 2022 has since been declared a public holiday so as to allow for Kibaki's funeral service at Nyayo National Stadium ahead of Saturday's burial in Othaya. For the second day today, Kenyans from all walks of life continue to stream into Parliament buildings to view the body of the late retired President Mwai Kibaki. Now tomorrow, Wednesday, April 27th, marks the final day of Kenyans viewing the body ahead of Friday's state funeral at Nyayo Stadium. Dickens Luvanda, Hope TV Newswatch at Parliament buildings, Nairobi County.
Thank you so much, Dickens, for that comprehensive story. Now, senators have praised the late former President Mwai Kibaki as a statesman and a diligent leader, who was patriotic and loving. While speaking at the Senate chambers, the lawmakers led by the Speaker of the House, Kenneth Lusaka, said the country will remember Kibaki for his selfless contribution to the growth of the country's economy and democracy, especially after the promulgation of the 2010 Constitution. Kibaki has been hailed as a man of the people who captured the minds of Kenyans.
His Excellency the late Mwai Kibaki was a progressive leader who believed in gender equality and women's empowerment. You will recall that the political party that he founded, the Democratic Party, had the highest number of elected women members of parliament in the 7th parliament. Further, in his first cabinet of 2003, he appointed a number of women as ministers, among them Governor Charity Ngilu, Senator Beth Mugo, MP, Honorable Martha Karua, Honorable Professor Helen Sambili, and Honorable Dr. Lina Chebi Kilimo.
As the Senate now resolves that the condolences of the Senate be recorded in honor of the President, the departed President, President Mwai Kibaki, as a selfless statesman, a national hero, an accomplished economist, and a member of Parliament for his contribution in nation building and Kenya's economic development, I urge members to be able to take this opportunity, Mr. Speaker.
Some of the best speeches have been made by President Kibaki. And whenever you saw President Kibaki, he used to address his parliament in two components. He started by addressing the formal part of his address. When you saw him looking at the press gallery and the gallery, then, Mr. Speaker, there will be silence, complete silence in the House, because he did it effortlessly and very eloquently.
Mwai Kibaki was not born great. He acquired greatness through sheer hard work, through a commitment to patriotism for his country.
If the example of what Kibaki believed in was followed in the current government, a lot of people will either be in jail or in court with corruption. So I believe that as we bury this man, a lot of us are going to make sentiments that we don't believe in. Because Kibaki never protected his friends. Kibaki allowed processes to be followed.
And he would bisect and dissect the budget from A to Z. And if he didn't agree with it, he'll finish by saying, Bure kabisa, and then walk out to go and have his cup of tea. I don't know of anybody that Mwai Kibaki violently disagreed with, even those that they differed in opinion.
Cabinet Secretary Kagwe has led the ministry fraternity in signing of the condolence book following the death of former President Mwai Kibaki. Speaking after the signing of the condolence book, Kagwe his achievement when he was the Minister for Health between the years of 1988 and 1991. And at the same time, everyone to devote leadership that offers indiscriminate service to all, just like Kibaki did.
I want to pass our condolences to the family of the late President Mwai Kibaki, but also to pass our condolences to President Uhuru Kenyatta, who is now the one holding fort and who is the one who obviously is probably just as affected as their family. I also want to state that we will be posting on the ministry website the condolence and the message from all of us. I'm speaking on behalf of all of you. But also, we are going to post a series of things that President Kibaki did while he was the Minister for Health during the period that that sits on our reception here. I think it's 1988 to 1991. And there are many things that we will remember, which I will not belabor or go into, but as I said, we are going to post them on our website. So I know that most of you were not here at the time, neither was I. And therefore, when I speak on behalf of the Ministry of Health, I speak also for the many doctors and nurses and health workers who are out there who worked with him. Some of them retired, but I'm sure they all remember him fondly. They remember him fondly for the things that he has done, not just generally in the other ministries, but in this particular day. The reason why we called everybody here is also to remember what he did for the health state of our nation. And on behalf of all of you, I just want to once again reiterate our condolences.
Now, the Coast Regional Commissioner John Elungata has led departmental heads and members of the general public in paying tribute to the retired president, the late Emilio Stanley Mwai Kibaki. Speaking at the Elungata described the late president as a selfless man who strived for the development of the country during his 10-year tenure, adding that Kibaki will be remembered as a kind, warm and friendly politician who was a father figure to many Kenyans.
Kwa miaka kama 10 wakati Rais Kibaki alikuwepo, wazungu wanasema kulikuwa kuna transformation kubwa sana ambayo haikuweza kuonekana kwa miaka mingi, na watu tutamkumbuka kwa kusisitiza juu ya utendaji kazi wa wafanyikazi wa serikali na hata viongozi, na hakuwa na wakati wa kupiga domo ama kuzungumza barabarani ama kupiga siasa ya hivi na vile. Yeye alikuwa ni mtu ambaye alikuwa na haja ya kuona nchi imegeuka, na ndio maana unaona hata National Youth Service wako hapa kwa katika ile mood ya kuomboleza. Ndio unaona bendera zetu zinapepea nusu mlingoti kuonyesha kwamba kiongozi aliyetuacha ni mtu ambaye ana sifa, alichangia nchi na aliweza kutransform nchi yetu kutoka kule ilikokuwa na kuelekea katika ile vision ambayo tunasema 2030. Na tunaomba kwamba yeyote ambaye alimsikia Kibaki asome juu yake kama hakumuona, ili aweze kujua ni kitu gani tunazungumzia kama wananchi wa Kenya ambao wamefaidika na uongozi wake.
Now, shifting gears to some polls, the International Boundaries Commission (IBC) has extended the deadline for the submission of the names of presidential aspirants running mates from the 28th of April to the 16th of. Speaking on Tuesday after a meeting with the representatives of political parties, IBC Chairman of Leche Bukati said the names of gubernatorial aspirants and those of their deputies will also be submitted on the 16th of May. While the deadline for the submission of names for aspirants for members of parliament, women representatives, senators and members of county assemblies remained on the 28th of April. Now, as the Nairobi gubernatorial political alignments continue to take shape, Nairobi Senator Johnson Sakaja has named Absa Bank Kenya Limited Chief Operating Officer James Njoroge Mushiri in the Nairobi race. This comes on the back of IBC extending the deadline for the presidential and gubernatorial contenders to choose and name their running mates. Sakaja will remain challenger Azimio's Polycarp Igathe on the ballot come August 2022. Sakaja has described Mushiri as the perfect candidate for the position, citing performance in the corporate world. Mushiri had contested in the recently concluded UDA primaries for the Nyandarua governor's seat, but lost to businessman Badilisha. Now that a short commercial break, but we'll be back shortly with more news. See you on the other side.
The Bible is unchanging and timeless, and its words are relevant for every generation. Join Dr. David Jeremiah each week on Turning Point as he delivers the unchanging Word of God to an ever-changing world. With his sincere, straightforward teaching style, David Jeremiah provides a rich study of Scripture from which you can find spiritual strength, encouragement, and guidance for today's world. Join Dr. Jeremiah every week on Turning Point, right here on this station.
Only God can turn a mess into a message.
I have a boy on a wheelchair.
Yeah.
I'm still preaching on the pulpit.
Amen. Niliona mguu ya nyuma inakuja tu kunikanyaga, imenilenga tu kwa tumbo. Nikaitana tu Jesus.
I got tired of working with the x-ray papers, and one day I just woke up and decided to burn them.
A test into a testimony.
The whole community didn't want to hear that anybody is born again. Excommunicated straight.
Bila Yesu hakuna njia.
Join Sharon Naitore Wangenye on Testify.
Katika hiyo harakati hiyo spirit ikakemewa, mimi nimeona Yesu Kristo namna hii. Kwa msalaba. Opa. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Every Thursday at 8 p.m. for a moment to grow your faith some more. Join us every Sunday for unlimited, uplifting, powerful worship. Only on Extended Worship.
Thank you so much for staying with us. Now, Azimio la Umoja One Kenya presidential candidate Raila Odinga says his government will prioritize the fight against corruption if elected into office. Odinga, while addressing a meeting of Constituency for Africa group that seeks to shape America's policy for Africa in Washington, D.C., said democracy, business opportunities, and Kenya's willingness to engage and trade with the rest of the globe will form part of his administration's agenda. Odinga is set to visit the State Department and the White House, where he will hold meetings with the country's Assistant Secretary of State for African members of the Congress.
We're going to create an enabling environment, because you know that one of the major impediments to investment in Africa has been some factors, which include, for example, infrastructure, poor infrastructure, high cost of energy, bureaucratic red tape, corruption. Some of inhibiting factors that have hindered investment in the continent of Africa. We are going to address those issues so that we can create a very attractive environment, new environment for people to come and invest in the continent. We don't want aid. We don't want aid because aid has been pumped in the African continent. It has become a bottomless pit without much to show for it.
Now, the members of the Wiper Party have demanded that their party leader Kalonzo Musyoka deputizes Raila Odinga in the upcoming August polls. Speaking during the issuance of certificates to various aspirants across the country at the party offices in Nairobi, the aspirant said Kalonzo has sufficient numbers to qualify for the position. Recently, a section of female leaders from the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Alliance coalition demanded that Martha Karua be named Raila Odinga's running mate. As Tess Njenga now reports, the members have said that Raila risks losing in the polls if the party's concerned overlook Kalonzo.
Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka has issued certificates to various governor, senator and women rep aspirants across the country. Among those who got the certificates are former Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko, Polycarp Igathe, who has been confirmed as the Azimio One Kenya Coalition gubernatorial aspirant for Nairobi County, and his running mate Philip Kaloki, Mutula Kilonzo Jr., among others. Even as various aspirants received their nomination certificates, the contestants have demanded that Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka deputizes Raila in the upcoming polls. Taita Taveta gubernatorial aspirant Danson Mwanzo Mwakulengwa said Kalonzo's experience in government is unmatched.
That time, 1985, he was in politics. Today, 2022, he's still in politics. Why would he not be the president? If he's not the president, he's the deputy president. Nothing short than that.
His sentiments were echoed by former foreign minister Chirao Ali Mwakwere.
Kwale County tunakura 305,000. Hizo zote zinavuka milioni 4. Tuna milioni 4 ambazo Wiper tutawazileta mezani. Tutataka kumsikia mwingine atakuwa naibu wa rais alete zake mezani tujue ni ngapi. Ikiwa zitazidi zetu, basi tutasema hewala, lakini Wiper iko mbele.
Your Excellency, this time hakuna mchezo. Hatuwezi kukubali. If there's no Kalonzo Musyoka, no Raila presidency. Sisi tunasema hivyo, and that is our slogan. Watu wa Garissa wamesema, watu wa Kitui, Machakos, Mombasa, Taita Taveta.
Kura zinazoletwa na yeye tunazohitaji kutoka pande yule, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta ako nazo mfukoni, ata deliver. Anazohitaji ndugu yetu Raila, Kalonzo anazo mfukoni, ata deliver. Raila, the 5th president of the Republic of Kenya, with his deputy Mheshimiwa Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. Na sio tafadhali.
While addressing the aspirants, Kalonzo asked them to bag the various seats in the upcoming polls and strengthen the Wiper Party.
Leo tukaona tuwaite, we want our first group to go out and be victorious. Na mshinde mkubwa. Mshinde mkubwa.
At the same time, Ford Kenya leader Moses Wetangula has also issued nomination certificates to various aspirants in his party, urging them to win for the party to remain vibrant. Reporting for Hope TV Newswatch, I'm Tess Jenga.
Thank you so much, Tess, for that report. Now, over 400 students who sat for their 2021 KCSE exams at Oriwo Boys in Homa Bay County will now know their fate in a month's time after the Kenya National Examination Council withheld their results. In a letter to Oriwo Boys School Principal, NEC Chief Executive Officer Dr. David Njengere said the results are being withheld on suspicion that candidates engaged in irregularities while undertaking the examination. The school was one of the institutions to watch, having been named among the most improved schools in last year's exams. Now, 2 families from Itanda in Kitutu Church North are demanding justice for their members who perished in a road accident. Charles Ongongoa and Mokaya Omwonga, who are cousins, were knocked down at Nachieko along Kisii Marani Road and died on the spot. They were riding home on a motorcycle when the accident occurred. The driver of the PSV fled from the scene of the accident and hid it before it was recovered by police later. Christopher Mokaya, an uncle to the deceased, rushed to the scene and found the victims and police with the ill-fated vehicle missing. Peter Mokaya, a brother to one of the deceased, blamed the driver for taking off when he could have assisted the victims during rushing, including rushing them to hospital.
Ilikuwa tarehe 19 Jumanne usiku ndipo tuliambiwa ati kuna ajali imefanyika. Sisi tukatoka kukimbia huko, tukapata kile kitu kwa barabara. Pikipiki iko upande ile nyingine na vijana wamekufa wamewekwa upande ile mwingine. Lakini serikali ya kutoka Nyanjo ilikuwa watu wa trafiki. Gari yenyewe ilikuwa imekimbia, imetoroka. Kuifuatilia tulikosa.
Walikuwa wenyewe walikuwa wawili watoto wangu na pikipiki yao. Ukiangalia jinsi vile walitolewa hapo kwa barabara, inaonekana gari hii ilienda kwa mikono yao.
Tunataka haki ya watoto wapatikane kwa sababu ajali ikitokea barabarani
inatakikana gari isimame ione kama itaweza saidia watu wapeleke hospitali. Lakini kitu walifanya ilikuwa ni hit and run. Huyu jamaa aligonga hao watoto na akawaacha hapo chini. Kama angekuwa msamaria mwema, kama angekuwa na roho ya utu, angewabeba awapeleke hospitali ama aone jinsi ya kuwasaidia hao ambao watu wamekonga na ngoja serikali ichukue mkondo wake. Lakini alikimbia alipowagonga, alienda kaficha gari.
Tumeshangaa. Huyu mtoto ndiye alikuwa mtoto kwa jamii, tena alikuwa mtoto kwa macho.
It's painful. Ni uchungu kabisa kumpoteza mmoja wetu kutoka familia.
Now, Kenya and Cuba have launched a joint effort aimed at eradicating malaria in a bid to reduce high incidence of the disease within Lake Victoria region. The program will be launched next month in Siaya County and is aimed at reducing malaria prevalence in the Lake Victoria region that stands at 29% against the national average of 6%.
We, the people of Siaya, must be able to understand that malaria burden is within our locality, and therefore we must rise up to the occasion and take leading role in ending malaria. Through partnership with the Ministry of Health, the county will soon launch Cuba Level Source Management Project from the month of May 2022. This will be an additional tool in the fight against malaria, which targets the breeding sites of mosquitoes.
The other intervention that we are doing, recently you must have heard that there was a malaria vaccine that is being administered to children in the Lake Endemic region. Actually, it is in selected sub-counties in those regions. For Siaya County, we are doing this in Rarieda, Game, and Ugenya sub-county. So we have seen an observed increase in the coverage from about 6,500 children in 2019 to more than 11,000 children in 2021.
Now let's cross borders to the international scene, where U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin kicked off defense talks with more than 40 countries on Tuesday by expressing confidence that Ukraine can prevail against Russia in the 2-month-old conflict. Speaking after returning from their trip to Kyiv to meet with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky near the Ukraine border in Poland, Lloyd Austin said that the goal of the USA in the Ukraine is to see Russia weakened so it no longer has the capacity to invade its neighbors.
Ukraine clearly believes that it can win, and so does everyone here. Ukraine needs our help to win today, and they will still need our help when the war is over. As President Biden says, our security assistance has gone directly to the front lines of freedom and to the fearless and skilled Ukrainian fighters who are standing in the breach. My Ukrainian friends, we know the burden that you all carry. And we know, and you should know, that all of us have your back. And that's why we're here today, to strengthen the arsenal of Ukrainian democracy. Russia's invasion is baseless, reckless, and lawless. It is an affront to the rules-based international order. It is a challenge to free people everywhere. And as we see this morning, nations of goodwill from around the world stand united in our resolve to support Ukraine in its fight against Russia's imperial aggression. And that's the way it should be.
And that story takes us to a second commercial break. When we come back, I'll get to inform you on everything you need to know in the world of business and sports. Stick around.
We don't know why, but Friday sees more smiles than any other weekday.
Come on.
We'd like to be part of the reasons you smile. Every Friday at 11:30 a.m. on Hope Junction, we play the latest jams plus your requests.
This is my God, my strength.
If your favorite song tells your story better, let the whole world hear it.
Look to Jesus and receive whatever you may need. You will surely receive.
Because women talk more and they are not very strong physically, when they want to hurt their husbands or their children or anybody, they use the tongue.
Families under God.
How can we continue to live carelessly in ease?
Join Reverend Dr. Judy Mbugua as she imparts families through prayer, evangelism, and social transformation with the Word of God.
You know, God is not asking you to manage. He's asking you to be available. Amen. And He will make you able and capable.
Families under God, Sundays at 8:30 p.m. only on Hope TV.
Thank you so much for staying with us. Now, let's get down to the world of business. Now, the first edition of the Equity Hackathon came to a close on Tuesday, and so winners from the University of Nairobi and Meru University of Science and Technology deliver solutions to address business and social challenges in the payments, financial inclusion, and digital identity thematic areas. Equity Group, in partnership with Microsoft, brought together hundreds of participants for the virtual hackathon, which ran from the 17th of February to the 17th of March this year. The initiative challenged the students to be innovative and collaborate to build proofs of concept and minimum viable products for predefined business problems and social issues.
For Africa to be a global leader in innovation and technology, one of the ways that we need to figure out is how to work with our youth, especially the ones that are in higher education institutions. And this is because the bulk of the knowledge sits with them. So fostering innovation through programs such as hackathons, boot camps, gives the students an opportunity to practice what they learn and also work with industry on innovations that can help shape how our industries work.
We need tangible skills that will drive the economy ahead. And that revolution is already happening right away. And I see in the next 10, 15 years that Africa will be a continent to be revered among the other continents.
Innovations can be very, very profitable. We're the most profitable bank, not just in Kenya, but East and Central Africa. Innovation can be very, very profitable. Purpose can be profitable. We were solving a problem, but a problem well solved creates value.
Now, to a story that many have been talking about in the online spaces. The world's richest man, Elon Musk, has struck a deal to buy Twitter for $44 billion in a transaction that will shift control of the social media platform populated by millions of users. The takeover, if it goes through, will mark one of the biggest acquisitions in tech history and will likely have global repercussions for years to come, including possible shaping how billions of people use social media. And to some sporting action, Giorgio Chiellini will retire from international football after Italy play Argentina at Wembley in the month of June. The 37-year-old defender first featured for his country in the year 2004, becoming a regular member of the squad in the years following Italy's 2006 World Cup win. Chiellini has played 116 times for Italy and was a key part of the squad that won the European Championship in England last year. The centre-back has, however, not decided whether to prolong his club career at Juventus beyond this season. And finally, the UEFA Champions League semi-finals kick off tonight at 10 p.m. East African time, with Premier League leaders Manchester City taking on La Liga leaders Real Madrid. The citizens have never won the European Football Premier Club competition and are under pressure to win the first ever Champions League. Liverpool will face Villarreal in the other semi-final fixture slated for tomorrow. And on that note, we come to the end of our news tonight. Many thanks to you for watching Hope TV Newswatch. On behalf of the whole team that made this bulletin a success, have yourselves a good night. My name is Kennedy Kimani, and Boniface Murithi has been the sign language interpreter. Enjoy the rest of our programming.